Lena and Alex had always loved exploring forgotten ancient houses. One quiet evening, they found an abandoned mansion deep in the woods. The air grew colder as they approached the crumbling Gothic structure. "This place looks haunted," Lena whispered, gripping Alex's arm tightly. Alex laughed nervously. "It's just an old house. Let's check it out." Inside, the air was stale, and their footsteps echoed eerily around them. The walls were adorned with faded paintings of stern, unblinking faces. "Do you feel like they're watching us?" Lena asked, voice trembling. Alex nodded. "Just our imaginations," he replied, but avoided looking. They found an ancient library filled with dusty, leather-bound books. Lena pulled out a book, and a gust of cold wind blew out their lantern. "Did you feel that?" Alex asked, fumbling to relight the small flame. "Yes," Lena whispered, clutching the book tightly. "It's freezing." The flame returned, casting flickering shadows that seemed to shift. Suddenly a thud echoed from above, followed by slow, heavy footsteps. "We're not alone," Lena said, her voice barely audible over the noise. They crept upstairs, the wooden staircase creaking with each step. At the top, they found a room with a grand piano covered in dust. A single soft note played as if an invisible hand had touched it. Lena gasped, stepping back. "Alex, let's leave. This feels wrong." But Alex, curious, stepped forward. "There's nothing here," he said. The piano played again, this time a haunting, melodic sequence. Alex's face turned pale. "Okay, you're right. Let's get out now." As they turned, a figure appeared in the doorway. A pale, veiled woman. Her hollow eyes stared through them, and she raised a bony hand. "Why have you come?" she whispered, her voice an icy breeze. Lena screamed, pulling Alex, but the door slammed shut behind them. The woman glided closer, her movements unnatural and eerily silent. Alex tried the window, but it wouldn't budge. "We're trapped!" The woman's voice echoed. "You disturbed my slumber. Now you stay." The walls seemed to close in, the air growing heavier with each breath. Lena shouted, "Please, we didn't mean to. Let us go." The woman paused, her head tilting as if considering their plea. "Prove your worth," she hissed, and the room filled with shadows. Figures emerged, whispering incoherently, circling Lena and Alex. "Do something," Lena yelled, clutching Alex's hand in desperation. Alex grabbed a book, reciting words etched on its aged, brittle pages. The shadows recoiled, and the woman's form began to flicker and fade. "You cannot banish me," she shrieked, her voice piercing their ears. With a final scream, she dissolved into mist, and the door creaked open. Lena and Alex bolted out, running until they were far from the mansion. Breathless, they stopped, staring at each other in shocked silence. "Was that real?" Lena finally asked, tears streaming down her face. Alex looked at his hands, still holding the ancient book. Too real. They returned home, but neither could shake the feeling of being watched. That night, Lena woke to the sound of soft piano notes in her room. She turned to wake Alex, but he was gone. His side of the bed was cold. A faint whisper filled the air. "Help me," followed by eerie laughter. Lena screamed, her vision blurring, and suddenly she was in the mansion. The veiled woman stood over her, whispering, "Your turn now." Lena's scream shattered the silence, but no one could hear her cries. She woke with a jolt, drenched in sweat, and Alex shook her gently. "It was just a dream," he said, but his face looked pale, uncertain. On the bedside table was the ancient book, open to the final page. In faint handwriting it read, "The story never ends.